Curly, you are a boot camper. Awesome. How do you handle being told the salary during the interview and it's less than what you want or expected? Curly, focus, baby. All right? I'm not being funny here, folks. When they're giving you information, most of the time, information like this is just going to throw you off your game. Because during the interview, they're not giving you an offer, they're sharing the salary. Okay, now I'm assuming you mean they say, this job pays 50 grand, not Curly, here's a $50,000 offer, right? Because these are very different. In the interview, I don't even care what they say it is. I really don't. If I'm looking for an opportunity and I wanna make an informed decision, I do not kill opportunities because I make 100 and somebody told me the job pays 75. That's me. Okay, you might have a different outlook. I'm telling you from many tens of thousands of scenarios that I've seen that it does you no good to prematurely eject yourself from the process. I'm about the art of the possible, which means you may think it's worth 75, but you haven't seen me yet, okay? And I haven't had a chance to dazzle you. So if they say, Curly, it pays 75 or 50, whatever it is, you say, I'm sure that if we're right for each other, we'll figure out what the right number is, and you move on. And I wouldn't even pay attention to that, because all that's gonna do is throw you off your game. It's the same reason why I don't want you asking what the salary is initially, because it'll influence you poorly. And then you might become lax about it when they would have happily paid you more. Okay? How do you handle it? Just slide it right on by, water off your back. Literally, I'm serious. And then you negotiate it out, duke it out, call it whatever you want at the end. That's what I would do. Now, if you start getting into situations like, well, Andy, I'm working 12 hours a day. I generally like what I'm doing. I earn $125,000. They told me it was only 75. Okay, fine. That's fine, right? But if you're in job search mode, art of the possible. And if you have the time, if you're unemployed, I would look at everything. Even if you're just going through, right? You take a swing. You never know. That's my view. Interviewer gave me a rundown of the job they are hiring for this interview today. Okay, awesome. Told me that the dollars and told me to say the dollars she suggested in layoff were possible. So I'm assuming you mean they're asking you if you're okay with what they're willing to offer for the job. Anytime this occurs, my view is, okay, I'm sure if we're right for each other, we'll be able to come to something amenable. And then I go in and I duke it out. I could go on and on, story after story. I could chew up the rest of the day telling you stories about how I was millions of miles away. I earned this and I earned this and they're down here. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got more than they. There will always be money for the right person. And if you're gonna tell me, Andy, that's just not true, I'm gonna tell you, you just didn't dazzle them enough to make them wanna dig deep into their pockets. Companies will do whatever it takes to get the right person for what they need. If there's a million people that can do what you can do and they can pay less, then they're probably gonna do that. But you gotta show them that there's only one of you and what you can bring to the table. And they will figure out where to get the money from, even if it's more than they expected they would have to pay. There are so many ways to get them. We had one woman, made a lot of money, and they were like 75 grand light. So go to baby girl and go to Curly. They said the job pays this. She says, I make 75 more than that. We had coaching, right? She's a boot camper. We went in, name's Karen. Went down, did the presentation, got on the flight, did all this and that. She was the first one in the recruitment pipeline. They were interviewing other people. They said, we want to make you an offer. I said, we gave her the script. I told her all the permutations they would say, everything she should say, and depending on whatever they said, this is what you say. One of those, this is what you say is, hey, okay, this is my number at a minimum, and I'm so confident in this that I'm okay with waiting. If you want to review all these other people and you want to go out and try to find some other people, I'm not going anywhere. There's my number. That's it, right? Went through the whole process. Because what happened? As she went through the interviewing process, what did she do? She changed the way they thought about the job. Then all of a sudden, what happens? They saw her. You know, I was watching the sunset once in Hawaii. I sat there with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I thought, this is a pretty good sunset. And then the next night I went back, and I had like a Talisker and a cigar, and I'm watching the sunset, and I'm thinking, this is a pretty good sunset. And I can never watch the sunset now without the scotch and the cigar kind of thing, right? Once you see it, have it, do it, your benchmark's changed, right? Okay, she changed the benchmark. She said that to them. The recruiter then said, hang on, let me go back to the people, because I know we don't want to lose you. They found the $75,000. Where'd they get it? They had 2 positions they were going to hire for, and they decided that they would wait until the next quarter and then peel off a little money from those and then take a little money from over here, and they figured it out. That's what happens because she was awesome and she stuck to her guns, right? What was my quote? Stacy, what was my quote today? Wake up every day and think to yourself, how can I be a threat to everything average? Is that the quote today, Stacy? Put the link in the thing. I think that was the quote today. That's how I want you guys to think. How can I be a threat to everything average? You think that way, you won't be average. You won't. Yeah, pop that little Instagram card in there. All right, I hope that helps. I'm sorry, I went off on that. But I'm telling you guys, assumptions are not your friends. Haggle it out at the end. Go when your stock is the highest. Make your argument and stand your ground. Stand your ground.